This video will show you how to use your content management system. This first video will cover logging into your website and adding a blog post. It's important to say that no matter what your website looks like, logging in and adding blogs are the same for every website. We're going to use our website for this demonstration, but again, yours will work exactly the same way. To start, we suggest using Firefox, Chrome, or even Safari as the browser to work with your content management system. Any of these browsers have better functionality than any of the current versions of Internet Explorer. Since Firefox is our preferred browser, we're going to be using that for our demonstration. To start, you're going to go to your domain name, not ours. Afterwards, add a slash and the word user and hit return. A screen will come up with these exact fields, though the design of the screen you'll be seeing will look a little more like your website than ours. Put in the username and password that we sent you earlier. Click Login, and it'll take you to a landing page that looks like this, with most likely your name up there, not your mama's. At this point, you could actually go to any page in your website using your top-level navigation and change any content on that page. However, since we're talking about adding a blog, what we're going to do now is go to the Add Content button up here. Click that link and you'll have a list of links under the Add Content section. Now, your links might be different than ours. However, every website has a news link. So click on that and it will take you to the landing page where you can add your blog post. One thing we're not covering here is how to prepare your images for the website. There's another tutorial for that, but for now, we'll assume those images have already been prepared. This first field is for the title of your blog post. Today, we're going to write about writing blogs, so here's our headline. One thing we suggest is to make all of your blog post headlines relatively consistent in length, about 10 words or so. This would make the blogs on your homepage look better and a little bit more consistent as well. This next category is something you wouldn't have on your site, so we'll pass by it here. And the next one is about uploading an image for your blog. Before you upload an image, you'll notice that we have some little helpful hints here. The image should be no larger than 65 kilobytes, although ideally it should be half that size. All files should be ending in JPEG, and it reminds you of the dimensions of the image for your blog post. To upload an image, click on Browse, and a window will pop up giving you access to all the files on your computer. For ease of this demonstration, we went ahead and put the image we want right on our desktop, so we don't have to drill down too far. So, it shows the image we want. Click Open, click Upload, and a thumbnail of the image we just uploaded will appear. You can see the image size is only 20 kilobytes, less than half of the maximum allowable image size of 65 kilobytes. Keeping your images smaller just helps your site load a little bit quicker. And this alternate text box is important for SEO. If a visually impaired user is on your site, they will have software that lets their system speak the words that we put in this alternate text field. So it's really beneficial for sight impaired users, and search engines really appreciate that. So just put in the description of what the image is. It doesn't have to have your keywords in it, though it could. It just needs to explain what the image is. Simple as that. This next field is for the blog post itself. We've already written and spell checked the blog post in another program, so what we're doing here is just copy and paste it. So here's our post. Once your post is in place here, you'll want to format it to make it look good. To do that, you would highlight whatever word or sentence you want to format, and then go to this drop-down menu which shows how you can format paragraphs or lines. For example, this first line is our headline, so we're going to use the first heading available, heading 2. On your website, these headings will actually be in the exact typeface that it will appear on your website. We just didn't do that on ours. But for now, we'll go ahead and make the heading this heading 2. There are ways we can add subheads by adding heading 3. You might have 5 or 6 headings on your drop-down menu. You can do things like bold, italicize, things like that. You'll want to double check your spacing to make sure that you have full returns in there. Once you have the type formatted, the next step is to make active links out of some of your text. You don't have to do this, but it's helpful and makes the blog post more interesting. But before we get into making active links, here's a tip that will help with all your formatting. Click on this icon with the 4 arrows, and when you do, it'll make the window larger so you can see your entire blog post at once. Now we can format it a little bit better. This blog happens to be made up of bullet points. So I'm going to highlight everything that I want to be a bullet point and click on this little icon that talks about bulleted lists. There's a numbered list right here, but we're going to be doing bullets. So I click on it and it formats the whole thing for me. Knowing this article as I do, I realize that my second sentence is actually part of my first sentence. It's not a separate bullet. So I'm just going to put my cursor right in front of the sentence, hit return, space, and it becomes just one bullet point. It's important that you keep only one space between each of your sentences. Adding a space adds a little bit of code, and when you have hundreds of blogs and thousands of sentences, it could be an opportunity for your site to slow down. So continuing with formatting this, I wanted to bold each of these first phrases of each of the bullets. So I just go through that. And this is what it would look like when it's completely formatted. This is the end of part 1 of the video tutorial how to add a blog post. Please go to part 2 to continue with this lesson.